wording just now? Can you see the wordings? What are we going to do? Yeah, one more hint to you. If you take a look at the blackboard behind me, HKDSE reading level up, star star, and never give up. Yes, we are going to talk about how to enrich our reading skills for the HKDSE paper today. Okay, so to begin with, I assume that you should have downloaded the paper that I have sent to you through the link before. So you should have the reading passage for part A, and the title is Brilliant or Loony, Balloons to Deliver Internet to Rural Kenya, together with the answer sheet. It should be like this, right? And I assume that you should have spent around 45 minutes doing the whole paper before you continue watching this video. If not, don't worry, you can pause it and come back and watch the whole video later on. Okay, so let's continue. Okay, so I want to ask you questions. If you're watching my video right now, I think that you should have the motivation to push yourself a little bit and want to improve yourself in the reading paper, right? But do you have a question in mind, like whenever you receive paper on your hand, like you have your question paper and your answer booklet, you don't know how to start or you don't know where to start? Should I take a look at the answer sheets first or read the passage first? And then tick dot, the time is running out. I only have 45 minutes to do part A, and then I need to do B1 or B2. Okay, and then some more students come to me previously and they share with me about a few cases. Maybe before we go into the details of analyzing the paper, we can also talk for a while. So they may say, Miss Lee, let's say suppose I'm a level 2 student. I would like to upgrade myself to level 3. I have done a lot of past papers, a lot of exercise, but still I don't know how to get higher marks. Or some other more capable student come to me and they will say, Miss Lee, I am a level 4 or level 5 student and I want to get 5 star. So no matter how I spend time in doing even the A level paper, CEE paper to prepare for my DSE, still I spend a lot of time and effort. I could not upgrade myself. Then I want to share with you a few tips over here. Yes, you may have done a lot of past paper, but then for even like 3 hours or 4 hours, you stick to your chair doing the paper, I don't think it is really that useful because we are talking about what? We are talking about the skills and the strategies when we read the paper, right? When we read the passage, like if you take a look at a paper, according to your experience, you should see that they are not really that straightforward. They have different question types, namely MC questions. They may have the long questions, fill in the blank questions, true or false, right? So you need to figure out like you're losing mark in which aspect. If you say you are weak in the true or false question, then you should get some exercise and just to focus on those question types and redo them instead of spending like 3 hours, 4 hours here doing another paper. Because for questions like referencing question, inferencing questions, if you struggle a lot there and you spend a lot of time in your exam just to focus on that one question, actually you're wasting your time, right? You may not have enough time to do the overall check-in and the whole paper later on. Agree? Tips number 2. A lot of students come to me and say, Miss Lee, level no matter for like the easier questions like B1 level or B2 paper, I still find the words they are very difficult. Let's say the expressions, the idiomatic expressions, the vocabulary items. So how can I understand whole thing and then do my paper? I don't understand the content and I cannot do the questions right. Mm, bear in mind, you are not the only one who don't understand those difficult words. How can you understand all the words in the paper when you're doing the exam? We are not really testing you the understanding of the meaning, like the dictionary meaning of those difficult words. But then we can apply strategies there to find out the meaning by reading the line before the word or the line afterwards to guess the meaning. We can apply different skills to help us to locate the answers. So the major gist of the whole DSE is to test for your reading skills, but not just the meaning of the words. Bear in mind. Okay, so if you understand the two tips that I have given to you just now, I'm going to demonstrate it with more examples with the sample paper here. Okay, all right. So brilliance or loony. According to the topic here, what can you think of? Okay, maybe you can think of balloons like this. If you remember, we have a movie called Up from Disney, right? And this is exactly the picture I've taken out from there. So are we talking about balloons like that? So let's look up. Okay, so let's move on and look at this. Brilliant or loony. So we have one positive adjective and the other negative adjective here. So simply just by scanning through the topic here, we know the genre is a two-sided argument. So we have a loony, this word is a negative word that means strange or silly. Okay, so we have the subheadings. If we go back to here, balloons to deliver internet to rural Kenya, you may struggle. You may say, Miss Lee, I don't understand the word rural. I don't understand the word Kenya. So what exactly is this? Don't worry, you see capital letter, so most likely it's a proper name. Is the name of a place, right? So for your reference, rural means farmland and urban is the opposite word for rural. That means city. And in between rural and urban, we have something called the suburban. Okay, that is right in between. So it's not exactly a city, but not as remote area as a rural area. So we call them suburban area. Okay. So this is a picture of Kenya. So you can see people there. They are a developing country. Most of them they are farmers. So you can have some ideas, right, by looking at this picture. But you may say, Miss Lee, in the exam, we do not have pictures giving us hints. Don't worry. So let's continue first. So we are talking about balloons, transporting a system, a service like the Wi-Fi to remote area like Kenya. So what can you think of? Oh, I totally do not have any previous knowledge about this. So you're very nervous about this again. You are struggling. You don't know how to move on. So don't panic. So remember, you will never understand all the difficult words in the paper. The most important of all is to apply our reading skills. All right? So don't be scared by the vocabulary items. You may say, oh my God, I don't know what to do. But focus on the reading skills. I repeat it for a few times, right? So if you can calm yourself down in the examination room, focus on applying what you have learned in class, the reading skills that I'm going to revise with you later on, you can dance. You will be the winner. Bear in mind. Okay, so what are the reading skills that I want to share with you here? I have taken out a few of them. First of all, okay, so I would like you to scan through the whole passage once again. So try to focus on those MC questions. Usually they are the question asking you for vocabulary items, difficult wordings, or some idiomatic expressions. So you may not know exactly what it means, or you have a few options there. Okay, it asks you for the summary, for the referencing question, don't worry. So you can use the method of elimination to figure out the answer. We are going to demonstrate it later on. And the second reading skills that I want to talk about is how to do the fill in the blanks questions. So if you take a look at a reading paper, so later on you can find it, like for example, question 8 there. So it is the fill in the blanks question, and usually it will have around 4 to 7 marks. So it's quite a challenging task. If you don't know the skills well, then you may lose a lot of marks in this area. So last but not least, number 3, I want to remind you time management is very important. You have around 45 minutes in doing part A. So today I've taken out part A as the demonstrations. Don't worry, the same applies to part B. Just that you need to figure out whether you want to choose B1 or B2 in the exam. I will put this in another video talking about the strategies in B1 or B2. Okay, so but for around 45 minutes, you have around 40 to 45 questions. That will be around 1 mark for 1 minute that you need to gain. So do all the straightforward questions first. Okay, forget about the summarized question, forget about those difficult table matching and ask you to um, like question 20 or 21 in this paper, it asks you to identify the opinion, or the inferencing question usually takes a lot of time, and you better finish reading the whole thing before you coming back to those questions. So if I were you, I would just highlight those questions, skip them first, and come back to them later on, because it would be the best if you can have around 5 minutes for overall checking. So at most you only have around 40 minutes to do all the questions, right? All right, so let's continue. So the first reading skills, method of elimination. So how can we do so? So let's go back, okay, to the passage that you have downloaded. So you will have all the paragraph labeled to you clearly, and usually the questions in the exam, they will ask you according to the order. Like they will ask you everything in paragraph 1 first, and then moving on to paragraph 2, so you can just follow the flow. Okay, they will guide you through the whole paper. But in case in between the questions, they may insert some like summarized question, some questions asking you for opinion, then you can skip it first. And the best of all, you may take it for advice if you would like to do so. I will scan through all the questions here bit by bit first. I will take a look, for example, question 1, part 1, okay? And then going back to paragraph 1 and scan through the whole thing, going back to the answer sheet again. I will not read through the whole paper here before I do the answer because it saves time, okay? So moving on to paragraph 2 here that we need to focus on, okay? For question 3, the demonstration that I'm going to talk about, okay? So based on paragraph 2, if I were you, I will also highlight some important words during the exam because I'm so nervous. I don't want to overlook any details, so I will highlight that, okay?